Hello everyone, it's Tilly from Tilly Journals. Welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. This week I am planning the week of the 11th of November in my A5 wide Tilly Journals inserts. I am using the Vertical Weekly. I am using a Crest Press kit called Stormy Nights, which was an old mystery kit that I think I got as a mystery kit actually. Was it mystery kit? Yeah, no, it was definitely a mystery kit that I got as a mystery kit when I was subbed to Crest Press's mystery. I'd like at some point to chat about art and the planning community and mystery kits and things, but I never seem to have any time in these voiceovers at the moment, and I'm going to have quite a lot to say this week, so I just want to get into that and things. So yeah, I don't want to focus on it right now. But other than that, I am using a foil bundle, also by Crest Press, I believe in hollow, with rain underlays, also from my shop in this rain pattern. What else am I using in this week? I think that's kind of it. So this art is by Sadie Piper and is absolutely beautiful. I have two extenders. I have the one on Monday and the one on Saturday. So yeah, I think that's it for the base. I'm going to quickly go over the 3 books that I read this week. I am in a bit of a reading slump. I know that sounds ridiculous when I'm still marking finishing 2 or 3 books in a week, but I'm just not really enjoying it at the moment, and we'll probably get into this a little bit more later, but for now let's just take a breather and chat about where we're going from here. So, how do I even start this conversation? I don't know. Right, so, first book I finished this week was Beach Read, which is by Emily Henry. So this is about 2 authors. So they are basically, an author is both struggling with, oh my god, why can't I use words today? 2 authors who are suffering from writer's block. The irony that I couldn't find the right words writer's block isn't lost on me. And one of them moves into her late dad's secret home basically, and discovers that next door is her rival from college, who is also an author. They write very different books, and they decided to swap genres for this book and try and teach each other how to write that genre. So yeah, that's kind of Beach Read. I gave it 4 stars, which it's a solid read. It wasn't my favourite Emily Henry, I have to say, and I don't know, I feel like it was missing some of the depth that Emily Henry books have usually, and I just wasn't really as invested as I often am. So yeah, it's a bit funny in that it doesn't really focus on anything other than the relationship and the development. The competition and the backdrop for the romance was a lot of fun. The tension Emily Henry builds is always excellent, and the steam was, but I feel like this was missing the heart wrench that I've come to know and love Emily Henry books for. Next up I have The Last Time I Saw Him, and this was an arc from Headline, so thank you to Nat Galley and Headline for a copy of the arc for a copy of the book in return for an honest review. So this is about Detective Stephanie King, who is staying on the Cornish coast. When she's there, she doesn't expect that the 3 women she meets she will soon be investigating. Woven together by the shared wrongs of Alice Corbin, the 3 women never expect to be caught up in the investigation into his death, but who's telling the truth and who has more to hide. I really enjoyed this once I got into it, but it took me to about 2/3 through to grip me. I didn't find any of the twists particularly shocking. It doesn't really matter to me in a detective book. I actually like having an idea of who done it before it's revealed. I think that there's a twist near the end that would have hit harder if I'd read the previous Stephanie King book, but it was my first. It was interesting having a villain a victim in the in a detective series that you didn't really like, you weren't upset they were dead, but it did also mean you weren't really as invested in his murder, and I think it's more of a mystery than a thriller. If I'd have gone in expecting the thriller, I'd have been disappointed. That's it for that. So I give it 3 stars, which is the lowest of the books I read this week. And the third book I read was Yellowface, and I found this really hard to rate. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. So, when June Hayward, an author whose debut didn't go to plan, is with her friend and far more successful author, Athena Liu, when she dies, June takes her last unfinished manuscript and releases it under the slightly more racially ambiguous pseudonym Juniper Song. The fallout's great. Basically, join June as she deals with the consequences of this. Go in expecting to hate June, number 1, which I think you should if you've read the synopsis of the book, but it's really hard to get invested and, like, pick up a book where you don't like the protagonist and you're just rolling your eyes at her the entire time. Like, it's really hard. I am a white woman. I would consider myself an activist, and however much I try to not let that colour my opinion of the novel, it's going to, intentionally or otherwise. I think you kind of have to get into Yellowface not expecting to enjoy it, but to have a better understanding of the racism faced by Asians. So yeah, I do really find reading this sort of book hard, because can't say I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy being angry at June for pretty much every decision she made. I didn't enjoy her casual racism. I didn't enjoy the assumption that she was better than Athena. I didn't enjoy that June, like, any problems June had with the book were Athena's fault, and the only thing good about it were June's changes. Like, you're not meant to like June, but not liking the protagonist does make it hard to enjoy. I think it's an important book to read, and there are some really important lessons learned, but enjoy, maybe not. Okay, I'm now going to quickly run through my day by day, and then I want to talk about something at the end, but we'll get into that if I have time. We'll see. So, on Monday, I started the day with designing some scripts, and then I made orders, so I'll have been designing scripts for the week before this, for my Plan With Me's. I then spent some time redating planners and had my planner call with Bestie, and did some more redating of planners. I was listening to Beach Read on audiobook whilst I was doing this. More making of planners. This was like very much in my planner making season. Did some reading. I was reading The Last Time I Saw Him this day, worked on some book reviews trying to catch up on those, and then it was time for Rangers, where we did a bonfire night. So she came along and did the firework lighting, which was lovely, and we had a fire, and it was nice little Ranger session. On to Tuesday, I was at work, and I also had basic life support teaching that day because I needed it for my portfolio. Then in the afternoon it was GP teaching. I can't remember what it was, but I was working on making planners after that, / possibly during that if it was online teaching, because I'm really bad for doing that. Working on my portfolio because portfolio deadline was rapidly approaching. Then it was time for guides. I was making snowflakes with them for one of the events at the local art centre. Then after guides we watched some This Is Us, but I wasn't feeling great. I was quite in my feelings and quite struggling with, well, life, to be honest. So yeah, I've just marked that in. On to Wednesday, I did some baking with my mum first thing, and then I walked home and did some extra steps on the way to try and get my steppies in. I then took photos for Instagram, did some reading. That was The Last Time I Saw Him again. Punched and coiled some planners, worked some more on my portfolio, made more covers for planners, because really this was my planner making era. I was really trying to get everything done. And then I just felt like I'd had a really productive day, so I just wanted to mark that in, because I was struggling quite hard at this point, and being able to mark that I was having a good productive day was a bit novel. On to the Thursday, I was at work again. One of our guide leaders was in hospital, so I went to see her, and then I was in clinic in the afternoon. I was really struggling with my brain health this day. I was just in a really, really bad headspace. We tried to play some Play Up to cheer me up. Didn't really work, so I've just marked that I could not cope and just went to bed early. And I really did just go to bed early this day to try and end the day. On to Friday, I was still having a very bad brain day, but oh well, it is what it is. I was at work again, and I finished work at lunchtime because I had an appointment in the afternoon, but I was working on some book reviews in the time I was at work. I wasn't at work, but I was still in the building because I had the appointment. Was my 20-week ultrasound. Baby is growing very well. We've decided to not find out their gender, so yeah, it was just nice to know that they're growing well and things. And they were 311 grams, and that is so cute and tiny, and I can't, it's just like, oh, what an adorable little one. I'm now sort of 3 weeks down the line after this, and they are I can definitely feel them having a wiggle in my tummy at times, and it's very lovely. I was really in my feelings this day, I just was in such a bad headspace, so I've just marked that in. Then we watched some This Is Us, and we read to Mango. This is when I wanted to start reading to Bump / Fruit every day to try and help with bonding, both for me and for Soch. So yeah, read to Mango, and then me and Soch just had some snuggles to finish the day. On to Saturday. So Saturday saw me pulling out my January kits and things and foiling and cutting the underlays for those. I was making dividers for planners. Then I took photos for Instagram. What was I taking photos on? Oh, I was retaking some of the photos from Wednesday for Instagram because some of them were blurry for some unknown reason. I was really struggling again, so I just marked my feelings. Was printing planners, punching and coiling planners. Then went over to my mum and dad's, who had Felix, my nephew, for the weekend while my sister and brother-in-law were away. So I just went and spent some family time with them. Oh no, this was not that weekend. This was the weekend that my sister and brother-in-law were also here. So next weekend, it was just the four of us. Anyway, so we ended up staying for a Chinese takeaway at their house, which I really didn't enjoy. I was just like, nope, this is not what I want to eat today. Then I marked in that I did my nephew's stories before bed, which is always really lovely to do, and then I did lots of steps to finish off the day. I've marked in the bottom there that I was 20 weeks as well that day. On to Sunday, the last day of this spread. It was our annual craft fair that my mum / I kind of help organise. Not really, it's mostly my mum. But I went to help set up for that, and then did a little bit of Christmas shopping there. I then came home and packed up some planners, and I was just finishing making planners. I think I was redating and stuff like that. Went back to the craft fair to help clear up. Then we moved our bath upstairs, and I say we, it was my dad, my husband, and our neighbour who got it up the stairs, and obviously the neighbour had to shout pivot while we were doing that, and also ended up in a really funny corner. It was actually hilarious. So yeah, then we did some reading to Bump, and I also finished the day with reading for myself. Right, I have 3 minutes, and I'm not sure I can get into this as much as I would like to, but basically, trigger warning for depression here, but if you haven't noticed in my videos, I have been marking in a lot more in my feelings, really struggling hard sort of things, and I would just like to talk about the fact that perinatal depression is a big thing. Your hormones are so all over the place. I'm under the perinatal team and receiving some great care, but it's really hard. I'm definitely in a relapse at this point. It's quite a significant relapse. I am managing to go to work most of the time, but I have missed a few days and things, and it's been hard. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't know how to phrase it, but I feel awful, and I'm so down, and I know I shouldn't be feeling this way. I know that I've got this absolute ball of joy growing inside of me, and I want to feel that joy and be excited, because this is such an excited time, but I don't. That's not how I feel. I just feel nothing, and that's terrifying. And that's why I was so down after my scan on Friday, is that I just wasn't really feeling much at all. Like, I was pleased that Bubby was healthy, but yeah. And I just want to say that if you're suffering from depression with babies, or with a family, or with whatever reason you have that you are telling yourself, I should be happy and I'm not, don't think like that. Like, your brain chemistry is doing what your brain chemistry is doing. It's really hard. I might not be as positive and chirpy as I would usually be at the moment on this channel or in general, because life's hard, and I don't even know what to say. Like, it's really, really difficult. I feel like it's not talked about enough. Like, the scary thoughts of, like, feeling like a rubbish mum. So yeah, I will talk about this more, I'm sure, in the future. But for now, that is kind of my summary. Here are the leftovers in my spread. Comment, like down below, all that kind of jazz. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry to stop on kind of a downer and a really low note, but thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!